Good morning. Today I will be doing a theory of knowledge presentation on the influence of mathematics on beauty. The real life situation that I will be analyzing today is an article in which science finds the most beautiful woman in the world by comparing numerous celebrities' facial features to the golden ratio, which is approximately 1.618 and is represented by the Greek letter phi. Science found that Bella Hadid was the most beautiful woman in the world, with a score of 94.35% according to the golden ratio. The golden ratio was derived in the 4th century Greece by famous Greek mathematician Euclid, who is the creator of one of the most important systems of geometry nowadays. It is said that a beautiful woman, her face, is corresponding to the golden ratio. Not just beauty in faces, but beauty in nature, beauty in flowers, beauty in art is conformed by this ratio. And scientists found how their face was corresponding to the ratio by taking various measurements. One, they took the measurement of the length of the face to the width of the face. The ratio of the length of the face to the width of the face was approximately 1.618. Also, the ratio of the width from the distance from the nose to the outer eye to the width of the eye is also 1.618. It is said that in a beautiful woman, the width of the eye is equivalent to the distance between the two eyes. It is also said that the center tooth, the ratio of the width of the center tooth to the tooth immediately to its left, is also 1.618. It is important to recognize that science is finding this golden ratio, this mathematically derived system, as an objective way of defining something as beautiful. This is directly related to my central knowledge question, which states that what role does mathematics play in our perception of beauty? Before we begin this investigation, it is pertinent to ask the essential questions, such as what is beauty? What is attractiveness? Is attractiveness related to beauty? Are there other factors of beauty that are not defined by visual appeal and attractiveness? Yes, we might see something as visually appealing because it is symmetrical and the ratio of the face is according to the golden ratio, but are there other factors that define something as beautiful? Maybe such as hair color, eye color, um, wrinkles on the face, certain marks. Maybe that can also influence someone's perception of beauty. So how can we differentiate between attractiveness and beauty? Are they related? Two knowledge claims that come out of this is beauty is objective and is defined by formal mathematical systems and laws, such as the golden ratio and the prominence and the importance of mathematical symmetry. However, another knowledge claim is that beauty is subjective and it depends on the person and their culture. Sorry. A sub KQ that was derived from this is why do scientists generally see numbers as the ultimate test of objectivity? Two areas of knowledge that inform this sub KQ are the natural sciences and mathematics. According to scientism, science is the only way we can make sense of reality and discover the truth. The golden ratio is implemented in reality. The way we view reality is based off this ratio. That is why we see people who are attractive. That is why their face corresponds with the golden ratio, according to science. According to Platonists, mathematical truths give us a priori insight into the structure of reality. Maybe reality is structured off of this ratio, this perfect divine ratio, as stated by Leonardo da Vinci. But we need to be careful. Also, scientific realism. It's a view that the real world is not the world as it appears to our senses, but as described by science. Science is what defines how we perceive something, not our senses. Our senses are a direct reflection of these scientific laws, these mathematical systems. The golden ratio is how we perceive things based off of the golden ratio. We see beauty, but in reality, we really see the golden ratio. That is, wow. But also, it's important to recognize and to highlight Gödel's incompleteness theorem, which states that it is impossible to prove that a formal mathematical system is free from contradiction. From what contradiction? So this system that we base beauty off of in Western cultures, that we see that beauty is the golden ratio. There is no other way. The way that we see someone as beautiful, the golden ratio is the objective way that we define someone as being beautiful or having worth. So how can we be certain that beauty is derived from mathematics if all mathematical systems have things that contradict them? How can we be certain that this is the only way that we can define beauty? Are there limits to relying on mathematics for defining beauty? Mathematics and the golden ratio, it only refers to facial structure, to the structure of objects as beautiful, structure of flowers, the structure of faces drawn in self-portraits, faces in real life. There are other aspects that are important to beauty. For example, eye color, hair color, again, wrinkles. For art, it might be the mixing of different colors, maybe the special artistic techniques. We need to recognize that it might not just be this ratio. This might not be the only way that we can define beauty. Again, re-emphasizing the difference between beauty and attractiveness, and that we need to recognize that there is a clear difference there. Another sub-KQ, which goes with the second knowledge claim, says that how does culture influence our perception of beauty? The ways of knowing that influence this are sense perception and reason. In some indigenous cultures, mathematics is not important at all, as illustrated by the Paraha group of northwest Brazil. And in their language, they only have words for 1, 2, and many because they have no use for numbers in their culture. See, these people, they don't view math as an important thing. They don't study math. So when they look at someone and they perceive someone as beauty, are they realizing it from a mathematical context? In Western thought, yes, we can see this. Golden ratio, yes. Because we are brought up with mathematics as an application to describe reality. But maybe in these cultures where mathematics isn't important, they don't recognize that. How are they going to see, yes, this is symmetrical, this is a rectangle, and this ratio is 1.618. They can't. And this is important because we recognize that maybe our perception of beauty is not objective for all cultures. Maybe it's dependent on the cultures and the person. Another question that is visual grouping a result of cultural prominence of math? Visual grouping is the tendency to group sensory data together and see them as shapes and patterns. Is our creation of shapes and patterns a direct result of the importance of math in Western culture? See, in Western culture, we are brought up thinking that math is very important. We take math for 12 years at least. We put great importance on it. So therefore, it is easier for us to recognize math and recognize patterns. So maybe the way that we perceive things as a ratio, as these different symmetrical patterns, is a direct reflection of the culture that we live in. Is our inductive reasoning flawed? Our inductive reasoning, the observation that we see the golden ratio, and yes, this person I think is beautiful. So this new paradigm, this new thought process, yes, golden ratio equals beauty. It also is important to relativism, the belief that truth is relative to the culture in which you live. If we assume that the golden ratio is the only way that we can define true beauty, we could be instituting cultural imperialism and dogmatism. We could be thinking that the way that we think in Western thought and in Western cultures and in cultures where math is taught, that we can think this is the only way to define reality. This is the only way to objectively define beauty, and we could enforce these values on other cultures who don't view beauty the same way. This is dangerous. Western thought / majority thought versus these individual cultural thoughts. And this is dangerous as we gotta realize that there are other perspectives on beauty. Other real-life situation applications that are directly relevant to the central knowledge question is that one of the 8 components of form in art is symmetry, and it is tied to the quality of the work. There are articles and videos, numerous of them, many of them, which illustrate the beauty of the Mona Lisa and discuss its symmetry and Da Vinci's use of geometry in the painting. We see this direct use of math, and we know that the Mona Lisa is viewed as one of the most beautiful works of art. And now we can see another example of beauty in mathematics. and how it is influenced. So, in conclusion, it is important to recognize the significance of math and application. However, mathematics is not the end all be all when we define beauty. If we recognize the significance of math in beauty, it might be due to our own cultural importance of beauty. And there are other features of beauty that are not associated with math and the golden ratio. There's a difference between beauty and visual appeal. The way we perceive things is attractive is not the same as beauty. Beauty is said, quote, is in the eyes of the beholder. There are other aspects, maybe not even external aspects, maybe internal, maybe personality traits that we define as beautiful. And it's important to realize that the perception of beauty also depends on the culture and person. It is dangerous when we only think from our Western point of view. We only see beauty as a mathematical construct. We only tie beauty to mathematics and not how other people define beauty in other cultures. It is important to gain a global perspective and to realize that the way that you view the world, the way that you perceive something is not the same as the way that others perceive it. I've learned that it's important to recognize all cultures and not take a dogmatist view, but to accept others and to realize that there are other cultures and their views are equally valid and important in assessing this. Thank you. I hope you have an awesome day.